Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today. Hello, friends. It's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyer here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the Twisted Angel Nene Woodson. Another solid and newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw tonight from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, on the USA Network as always. So there's nothing more to say. Let's get down to business. So started it off with a 2-for-1 deal. Actually started it off. Yes, we had an in-ring segment, theme of the night. We had a lot of these tonight. And it started off not with who you'd expect. Not Roman Reigns, not the Authority, John Cena, what have you, Kurt Angle. No. It was the women's champion, Alexa Bliss, alongside Mickie James. And Alexa continuing, picking up right where she left off from last night, that epic promo that she cut last night. And then from there, all hell breaks loose because Asuka showed up and Nia Jax showed up, and then Bayley and Sasha hit. So then during the commercial break, I'm assuming Kurt Angle made a six-woman tag team match with Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Mickie James squaring off against Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Winners of the match in 13 minutes and 5 seconds, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. The segment, solid opening segment. Alexa Bliss, just like last night, drew very good heat, and the heels standing tall was, as we just found out, set up a six-woman tag. And it was odd that Mickie James is suddenly hanging out with Alexa Bliss despite not actually turning, but we'll see where it goes. So that's all I can say on the segment. As far as the match goes, solid 2.5. I mean, it was a good 6-woman tag that touched on the top storylines in the Raw Women's Division. Storyline progression. Thank you, SmackDown Live, for sending us that magic touch of that. We all remember last night, Sasha Banks attacked Bayley in the Elimination Chamber. Well, Bayley returned the favor, standing up Sasha for the hot tag, and declining the tag was not positioned as a heel turn. In fact, she came back and helped Asuka, so it's an ongoing issue between Bayley and Sasha. And by the way, they still haven't had Asuka declare which women's championship she's going to challenge for at WrestleMania 34. Cole and them on commentary are assuming it's going to be Asuka and Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. No, that's not set in stone yet. Remember the rule. Asuka can challenge either brand's women's championship. She doesn't necessarily have to go for the Raw Women's Championship. She could take her ball and go over to SmackDown Live and make MF, as giddy as he's been in a long time, to go after Charlotte Flair, his crown jewel, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I know MF is praying to the good Lord above, saying, please, Asuka, go to SmackDown Live. We got opportunities for you. You're going to get lost in the shuffle on Monday Night Raw, baby girl. That's the immortal words of MF. So we'll see. But nonetheless, it was a solid match. So a lot to digest there, but great way to start it off. I mean, the segment was solid. Match was just as solid. So good way to start. Good way to start, ladies. Well done. Well done. Good match. So nothing more to say here. Let's bring in the aforementioned girl MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk. MF, 2-for-1 segment. Alexa Bliss adding to her great promo from last night. And then from there, you get a solid 6-woman tag. And come on, MF. I mean, since Asuka has the opportunity to challenge either champion, come on, MF, admit it. You want her on SmackDown Live, don't you?
Well, absolutely. I that would be a great thing to have. That would be amazing, to say the very least. And I would love to see them. I would love to see them bring Asuka to SmackDown Live. Absolutely, yes. I would love to see it. However, you know, at the end of the day, can we honestly think it's possible? I think maybe not. However, it would be compelling and it would be a shot in the arm to SmackDown Live if we do get Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, to show up and basically declare, you know what? I'm gonna go after the SmackDown Women's title. I'm gonna challenge the Queen, Charlotte Flair. And let me tell you guys, if that fight actually happens, what a matchup that will be at WrestleMania. The Queen herself, Charlotte Flair, basically miss pay-per-view. Nonetheless, I think her win-loss record in pay-per-view fights is unbelievable. And lo and behold, she would go up against the Empress of Tomorrow, and this would be, at least in my mind, one of the best challenges. You know, we've had Asuka fight Sasha Banks, she's fought Bayley, she's fought Nia Jax now, and to go up against really the Queen of SmackDown, Charlotte Flair, what a matchup that could be at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I mean, yes, I know a lot of people are thinking that it's probably going to end up being Alexa Bliss, though, and that she'll end up choosing Raw, going after the Raw title, and getting and fighting Alexa for the belt at Mania. But like I said last night, she's never officially declared who she wanted. The only one that has was Nakamura. When he won the Royal Rumble, he immediately he was a little pressed by Renee Young, but he immediately made the decision, I want AJ Styles. So what is Asuka going to do? Remember, at the end of the Women's Royal Rumble, when she won, she had both Charlotte and Alexa there, both with their belts, respective belts, high in the air, and Asuka was mauling over before Ronda Rousey came out and quote unquote stole the moment from Asuka, which I know a lot of people, some people were happy to see Ronda, other people probably was not so thrilled because, again, it undercutted under Asuka's big win at the Royal Rumble. So I don't know what that will do. But remember, we're now 41 nights away from WrestleMania. You kind of have a feeling like maybe in the next few weeks, maybe we'll get to see Asuka make her decision. Right now, it kind of has this feel like it is going to be Alexa Bliss. It has the feeling like it's going to be Alexa. Maybe Asuka came out tonight to maybe declare, but we didn't really get an official declarement because of what's going on. And one other thing, the Bayley Sasha Banks thing is very interesting. I love how they're planting the seeds of a possible friendship blow up because of the fact that, if you remember last night, you know, both ladies was trying to go after Alexa in that inner pod, and Sasha knocked Bayley off the pod, and she went flying down to the ground, and everybody went nuts thinking, oh, it's a Sasha heel turn. Tonight, the shoe's on the other foot. She's going for the tag. Bayley pulls a Rick Martel move, and basically he's like, nope, I ain't tagging in yet. I'm not interested. Basically, the shoe hit the other foot. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and tonight, I hate to say it, but Sasha, you were the goose on this one. But we'll wait and see what happens. I got, like you said, storyline progression is starting to creep a little bit into Monday Night Raw. It took you long enough to do it because, I mean, goddamn, SmackDown Live has been doing it for how long now? About a year and a half. Finally, Raw comes around and starts doing storyline progression. Welcome to the party, Raw. But you've been too late for that, boys. 2 to 2.5 stars. Decent fight. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the segment was good for what it was. I mean, it's certainly a great way to start off this edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, with Alexa Bliss continuing to gloat about her becoming the first woman to win the Women's Elimination Chamber match and how she's going to WrestleMania. And then and then of course Asuka shows up and she basically starts running down Alexa Bliss starts running down Asuka, and then Nia Jax shows up, and it looks like Asuka's got everything under control, but it then becomes a 3-on-1 beatdown, and then Sasha and Bayley show up, and we got ourselves a 6-woman tag team match. And as far as the match goes, I'll give it about 2.5 stars as well. I mean, certainly a great way to start off the matches portion on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's coming into focus. I mean, it looks like a Sasha and Bayley feud is looking like that's going to happen at WrestleMania. And I think we know for sure it's going to be Asuka challenging Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. So we'll wait and see how everything plays out, as we're now just 41 days away from WrestleMania. So nothing more to say. 2.5 stars is my rating. So Dee Whitson, I give it to you, and let's just hear how you feel about Alexa Bliss's quote gloating.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Is she went out there, gave some a compliment to Mickie James and a compliment to Nia Jax for what she did to Asuka, and then just kind of went off on everybody else. So, yeah, typical for her to be all talk like that and try to make herself look, better than she actually is. Yeah, she's the champion. Yes, she won the match. No, I'm not real crazy about some of the stuff that this woman does. She still is the biscuit butt of WWE. But I do have to at least give her credit. She does know how to compete in the ring when, and I quote this, when she actually competes without cheating. She knows how to do it. That's one thing I'm getting sick and tired of all these heels on, is constantly cheating to win. I know being a heel, you're supposed to do something to make yourself look like a heel, but there's ways of doing it without cheating every single match. You don't have to cheat every single match to be the bad guy. They didn't do it back in the day. They don't need to do it now. Trash talking, yes, I can understand that. That's a heel thing. But I don't know. The match itself, 2.5 stars. Not surprised that Bayley walked out after the Elimination Chamber, but it is what it is. I'm not going to say too much more. I'm really tired, so let's just move on.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us, Stevie Woodson. So let's continue on here. Okay, we're gonna have some fun with this. Another in-ring segment. John Cena. He shows up. Man, what a promo he cuts here. Talking about how he failed last night and how failure inspires him. And what did he do? He said, I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. Issue a WrestleMania challenge to Michael Bullock's all-time favorite, The Undertaker. But he says to fans, he says it's not going to happen. The match won't be happening because it's impossible. So then Cena says, you know what? My road to WrestleMania is going to go through SmackDown Live. I'm a free agent. I'm going to be on SmackDown Live tomorrow night from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. So, MF, I mean, oh man, your boy John Cena. I mean, he said he wanted the Undertaker. He said it's impossible. He's gonna be on your show tomorrow night from the City of Angels, in your words. Nice hook.
And he's coming home. The ace player is coming home to what believe in the show that he was drafted to in the draft when this brand split began. He was selected in the second round, the first person in round number 2 for SmackDown Live, the number 7th overall pick. John Cena is coming home to SmackDown Live where he belongs. I don't give a damn about this free agency. He's SmackDown property. He's always been SmackDown property. He's coming home to where he truly belongs on our show, Anthony Florio, and this is awesome. Obviously, it's about WrestleMania, and I get it. Cena wanted that moment in the spotlight. He wanted to win because it assured him a spot at WrestleMania. Now, for the first time ever, he's on the outside looking in, and it's a very rare place to ever be in at WrestleMania. Is that obviously he's gonna be in it. We all know that, but now the road to WrestleMania for Cena is a little more trickier because now there is that kind of quote unquote seed of doubt that maybe Cena's not going to be in it this year. Maybe this is going to be a Cena-less WrestleMania. You know, of course Cena will be in it. Of course he's going to fight somebody at WrestleMania. And the thing was, he called out Taker, and that is the mind-boggling moment for a lot of people. But with Cena calling out Taker, that's a very dangerous precedent. I mean, I think we all know you just don't call Taker out and don't get a response sometime down the line. So, could we have a double bombshell coming? Is it possible the Dead Man might show up tomorrow night in LA at the City of Angels? I mean, are you kidding me? SmackDown Live would instantly become like, this could be the show of the year. This is already setting up to be the show of the year tomorrow night in LA. Because for one, we're going to have possibly Ruby Riott versus Naomi, because obviously they're going to want to continue that storyline. We're going to have the continuation of the U.S. storyline. We still need the tag team title situation resolved. And plus, we're also going into the final show. We're going into the final 2 shows before Fastlane. So we got a lot of time ahead of us. But for him to go to SmackDown Live, obviously that means he's probably going to fight at Fastlane. Could that be the opening for Taker to show up? If that's the thing, because obviously he did the unthinkable by calling out Taker, and I think we all can agree, you never, ever, ever open an open challenge to anybody in wrestling, and he did the unthinkable and called Taker out. Michael Bullock, I think his ears perked when he heard Cena call Taker out. He must have been like, you want to go after my boy? You want to go after my hero, my legend, my icon, and you want to try to take on the man himself? You want the Lord of Darkness, the Phenom himself? I know Michael Bullock must be like, Cena, you're probably worthy enough that you are not going to survive if you go after Taker. Because let me tell you, we don't know what kind of Undertaker we're going to get. Because yes, he was broken. Yes, he was left in a heap against Roman Reigns a year ago. And maybe Taker is done. There's nothing left. You're going to have to do something drastic, Cena. You're going to have to do something that's going to... You got to do something to bring Taker to you. And that's the key. You just can't make any open challenge and Taker's going to do something about it. You're going to have to do something drastic. Something crazy. Something that, you know what? I'm going to say it. You just might have to put your career on the line in order to get Taker out. You're going to have to do something that's going to... There has to be some meaning to bringing Taker out. Because just calling him out, that ain't going to do it. You're going to have to do something radical, Cena. Something that's going to be a man type moment. Segment was awesome. And I cannot wait for tomorrow night. My boy is coming home. Can't wait. City of Angels, Staples Center. It's going to be lit tomorrow night. Michael Bullock, go ahead, bro. It's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, what a segment this was. I mean, like you said, Cena was... He said he failed in his attempt because to get to WrestleMania, and that he has no free road now. And that he says the only way he could do it, that he was going to do something. And that's what he said he was going to call. He was going to challenge The Undertaker. And he said that's impossible because it can't happen. And I'm like saying, did he just call out The Undertaker? Well, I mean, bad things happen when you do call out The Undertaker. Like, he may have to get his shovel and bury you 6 feet under, if that's the case. And, I mean, yeah, with Cena going to SmackDown, who knows? Maybe he could be in a match at Fastlane, and that could be the night when the dead man shows up. And let's not forget another thing. Mike Fletcher, I gotta say. Let's not forget who else is property of SmackDown. It's The Undertaker, because he's been on there.
That's right. He actually said that.
Because remember, that's what I was getting to.
The Survivor Series, that's right. He is part of SmackDown. Oh my
Lord. When he said that SmackDown is my home. Let's not forget that. So, could he show up at Fastlane? Could he show up at some point leading up to Fastlane? I really don't know, but I can tell you one thing right now. It's going to happen. Undertaker and Cena's going to happen at WrestleMania. It's not just a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when that announcement is going to happen. Segment was awesome. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Okay, I'm going to make Fletch even happier here on going on about Cena actually being more part of SmackDown than Raw, because for one, he had 2 unofficial debut matches on SmackDown before he was even signed to OVW. Then his official bring up to the card was on SmackDown, of course, against Kurt Angle on June 27th of 2002. So he has been on SmackDown since his start. He's definitely if you want to put it that way, SmackDown property. Because that's where he started. I mean, I know they say SmackDown's the Rock show. Well, Rock's not around no more. It's Cena's show. When The Rock decided to take his ball and go play in somebody else's court, it kind of became open property, and Cena pretty much can say now that it's his show, even though AJ Styles has tried to take that claim or is making that claim now. It's still Cena's show. He started off there before OVW. He started off there after OVW, and he's worked, I think, more SmackDown shows than Raw shows in his whole career. So, yeah, I would definitely say he's more of a SmackDown boy. And, yeah, Undertaker is too. So, if this match is going to happen, which knowing Shane McMahon, there's probably a fairly decent chance that he will grant John Cena whatever he wants with reason. Because Triple H and Stephanie certainly not going to do it. They've got their themselves all tied up with the Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle stuff that we'll get into later in the show. Excuse me. But yeah, this was a really good segment. Cena put his heart on out there for everybody. You've got to see a side that you never really get to see of him, where he's admitting, I failed. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I didn't live up to what I had set for myself. I didn't live up for my goals. And so now he's going to come to SmackDown. He's going to try again to get himself onto that WrestleMania card. So, best of luck to him. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night on SmackDown. And hey, if you do get Taker, it'll be one hell of a match to watch. If not, hopefully Shane can offer something just as tantalizing. So, not much more I had to say about it. I'm going to toss it to Florio.
Segment of the night. There's no doubt about this. This was the segment of the night. Bullock and I ate it up during our Raw chat tonight. I mean, when we heard Cena call it The Undertaker, MF, you weren't, you were actually wrong about what Bullock said. I mean, I know that's probably what you were thinking in your mind, but you know what Bullock and I did? We just simply did our infamous yes, yes, yes chant on that. We were freaking out because we were like, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then he pulled the rug out from under us, at least for now. But long story short, segment of the night, quality promo to whet the appetite of the fans for that Cena Taker dream match. I mean, normally I wouldn't think there's much of a chance of The Undertaker making an unadvertised, unscheduled appearance on SmackDown Live. But since tomorrow night's show will be in LA, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. And it's not like there's another obvious WrestleMania match waiting for John Cena on SmackDown Live. For the love of all mankind, please do not shoehorn him into Styles and Nakamura. That's the match we want. Leave that alone. That is no touch as far as we're concerned. No touch. Leave it as it is. So help me God, if he gets shoehorned into that, the IWC ain't the only one who's going to have a field day with it. Trust me. You're gonna get a Jesse the Body Ventura style rant from me tomorrow night if somehow, some way he gets shoehorned into that. Don't do that. Don't. That's all I can say on that. Don't.
Oh, what did you say, Flory? I couldn't quite hear. Don't do what?
Don't shoehorn John Cena into Styles and Nakamura. There's a chance that could happen.
Oh yeah, if they do that, ooh, it's not gonna. There's going to be a lot of IWC people that are going to flip out, and not in a good way.
Right. They do that. I have a feeling all four of us is going to go on a major rant.
You do not mess with Nakamura and AJ Styles.
No touch.
whatever you do not
No.
mess with the SmackDown main event of WrestleMania.
All
If
four of
you
us
do
will
that,
go on rants if this happens.
WWE.
I even told
Five.
Kevin he can rant on my time too, so there'd be 5 of us ranting.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this: SmackDown Live has the main event of WrestleMania. They have the fight that everybody wants to see. They got Nakamura and AJ Styles. This is a point where you find Cena somebody else. You do not infringe on this main event. As a matter of fact, you can give him Kevin Owens, give him a Sami Zayn, let them fight, let them deal with it. Because last time I remember, they had a pretty good rivalry going around. Owens and Cena, they could let them battle it out at WrestleMania. Do not mess with the WWE Championship picture. You mess with that, you're gonna ruin WrestleMania. You're gonna wreck it. You want it to be the biggest and best ever. I'm sorry. You're trying to compete with Wrestle Kingdom 12, which was an amazing event. If you put John Cena in that title fight and make it a triple threat, you literally lose the excitement, the luster, you lose everything. The momentum of SmackDown Live will get slammed into a screeching halt. Don't do it.
No touch. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you better not do it, WWE, or you're gonna have 4 pissed off members of the IWC going after you.
Indeed.
And trust me, this will be the biggest Phenom rant of all time.
Okay, Bullock, I got you. So let's move on. And yeah, I already know what kind of Bullock rant we're gonna get. I mean, it's gonna be far worse than any one of his wham Byron Saxton rants that he's so infamous for. So let's
shut it, Florio.
Just making a point. So here we go. Okay, we have a cutout here. It was supposed to be Bray Wyatt. I guess apparently against Heath Slater. It never got off the ground because Bray Wyatt took out both Heath Slater and Rhino. And then he called out Matt Hardy. Oh, Lord. Let's hope that Bray Wyatt stating that he's coming for Hardy means he's going to take a trip to Cameron, North Carolina, along with a WWE camera crew. And we get another one of those infamous deletion fights at the Hardy compound. And if we do, get Senor Benjamin, get Vanguard 1, Jeremy Borash, whatever you need to do to make that happen. That's it. So let's hope for that. Okay, another 2-for-1. Well, this is actually a rarity here. A 3-for-1 deal here. You heard of our 2-for-1. This is a 3-for-1. We had the Miz. Miz comes out with the Miztourage, and he goes on another one of his infamous tirade promos about, how he will be the longest reigning Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of all time in 62 days. Complained about his face not being on merchandise, and he should be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then whined about Kurt Angle, making his life miserable in a way. And then Kurt Angle said, your opponent tonight might determine who you face at WrestleMania. He said, might. Well, he gets a match against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, his opponent. And in 13 minutes and 5 seconds, Seth Rollins wins the match with a long-distance frog splash. And then on top of that, Kurt Angle not done. After that grueling match with Rollins, he puts Miz in another match against Finn Balor. And well, it was what happened at first was there was a DQ because Miztourage got involved, and then the Good Brothers came out. All hell broke loose, and then Kurt Angle restarts the match, ejects the Good Brothers and Miztourage from ringside. The real winner of the match in 10 minutes and 45 seconds, Finn Balor wins it, coup de grace, or as Luigi PS3 always likes to call it, the coup de grace. So, man, we got a lot to sort out here. Okay, and little time to do it, so let's do our best here. Second best segment of the night with The Miz. He was on fire. He is as consistent and strong as anyone on the microphone these days. And this was somehow even better than usual. I mean, it ranks up there with some of those infamous talking smack tirades that he went on. The match with Seth Rollins, if I'm going to be real honest, that was the fight of the night. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Very good match with good back and forth action, and then from there, you had a great match with Finn Balor on top of that. Oh boy! So I'm gonna take a moment here, Michael Bullock. I'm gonna bring you in here. A 3-for-1 deal here. Whoa! The Miz promo, and then the matches against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Bullock, I mean, we got a lot to talk about, but so little time to do it. So don't take too long here.
Yeah, I mean, this was the second best segment of the night. I mean, Miz cutting his usual tirade promo about how he's not getting respect and how he's better than all the other Intercontinental champions. Well, some I do agree with, but others I totally disagree with him on. So, and how his opponents for tonight might determine who he faces at WrestleMania, and he goes off on that. And then he gets Seth Rollins, and I do agree with the match. Fight of the night. I'll give it about 3.5 stars as my rating for the match. This was a very good match, to say the very least, between these two. So, and then as far as the Finn Balor Miz match goes, 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say on it. So, Dean Woodson, I give it to you.
I will say Miz knows how to run his mouth, doesn't he? There's no love lost between me and the Miz, or the Miz Taraj. I like the fact that Angle decided to put him in a little mini gauntlet type thing here, and kind of show Miz, who the boss is, that it's not the Miz. Very good segment, definitely second best segment of the night. Just because Miz knows how to run his mouth. Don't like everything that comes out of his mouth, but he knows how to run his mouth. He knows how to cut a heel promo. And, at least he's doing it for the right reasons, wanting to have competition, wanting to be the best, and not doing it to, particularly pick on people and want to beat people up. The match with Rollins, definitely 3.5 stars. The match with Balor, I'm going to give it a solid 3. So, not much more I have to say about it. Florio, I'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, the segment was the second best segment of the night. Very good fiery promo for Miz on that. The Rollins match, like I said, that was the fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Before I had my little brain freeze there, because I realized that Bullock had to start off that segment. But 3.5 stars for this match. This was the fight of the night. Very good match, good back and forth action, great near falls. Really good work from both guys, and it was just a ton of fun. And Rollins continues his role, and he's really performing like a guy with something to prove. He's showing that sense of urgency. He wants to be a champion again. Not a tag team champion, a singles champion. And tonight he really put himself in a good spot. He definitely, proved something to me, and I think he definitely deserves an opportunity at the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. As far as the Balor match goes, this was the second best fight of the night. 3 stars, like Didi said. I mean, good match, yes, but it was not as high energy or fun or as exciting as the Rollins match, but good stuff. The only thing that I didn't like was that, Miz has been buried. I mean, he's been was not a good night. I mean, I believe he was the first man eliminated in the chamber match last night, and then got beat twice within a half an hour span, clean as a whistle. And it's a bit hard to buy into him as a champion of any kind when he's getting beat like a drum. But to his credit, he carried the second hour with a promo and 2 very good matches. And I'm also happy to see Seth Rollins and Finn Balor being figured into the WrestleMania picture. So both of those guys deserve a big-time match at WrestleMania. Nay, a possible triple threat with the Miz for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I'm down with it. So nothing more to say here. So MF, I mean, a 3-for-1. A great Miz promo, and then back-to-back, and then the two best fights of the night with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Absolutely, and it also continues the hot streak of Seth Rollins. I mean, I gotta admit it, guys. Rollins is definitely having the month of his life right now. I mean, even Balor is having the month of his life right now. Even though they didn't win the Elimination Chamber, they both had impressive performances. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor was the Iron Man at the Royal Rumble. Then Seth Rollins, he was pretty respectable in his own right. And then Seth absolutely tore the house down about a week ago in that gauntlet lasting for over 65 minutes, 1 hour and 5 minutes in the ring, beating John Cena, beating Roman Reigns, only to lose to Elias. But then both men really impressive performances last night in the Elimination Chamber, both starting out the fight along with The Miz in the triple threat format. Unfortunately, Balor was knocked out about, I want to say about 20-25 minutes in. Seth Rollins was the Iron Man again in this fight, lasting 35 minutes in the Elimination Chamber, starting from, I guess you could say, the number 2, number 3 position, but still, anyway. But he was in it at the very beginning and lasted and was literally in the final 3 before getting eliminated by Braun Strowman. So, I mean, it was unbelievable what they've been doing lately. Great promo by The Miz. Definitely the fights of the night. And this was well over 3.5 stars. The whole thing was just amazing. Nothing more to say. Florio, I believe I give it back to you.
Yes.
Okay, it's yours.
Because Bullet started it off. All right. We're gonna have to let's see how much fun we're gonna have with this. The number 1 contender for the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns, comes out, and apparently, I guess something happened with Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar was supposed to be on the show tonight. I don't know what happened, but Roman Reigns was not a happy man, and let me just say it like this: Big Dog's hungry. He wants to eat. And, well, can't do that unless he has a bone to chew on. And that bone is the Universal Championship, which everybody and our mothers know he's going to win that at WrestleMania. So, 41 nights away from Roman's coronation. So, but nonetheless, this promo tonight, say what you want about Roman and his microphone abilities. But Didi Whitson, as I started with you here, I got to say this was the best promo Roman Reigns may have ever cut of all time. This was amazing.
Definitely. And I think it's kind of ironic here. Here we had Heyman, who wasn't even expected to be at the pay-per-view. They're at the pre-show saying, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to be here on Monday, and they're going to have this face-to-face. And they show commercial after commercial after commercial for it, just for Roman to come out today and say, he's not here. He wasn't at the show last night. He was on the strip. What? You don't even watch to find out who you're going to be facing at WrestleMania? You'd rather go out on the strip and go do God knows what with whomever? That don't make one lick of sense to me. I mean, Brock is making himself look like a very cheap champion because he doesn't defend his title. I don't know what they've got in his contract, but from what I understand, all titles are supposed to be defended every 30 days. Does he defend every 30 days? No. He defends whenever the heck he feels like it, when there's a Raw pay-per-view or a combined pay-per-view. And then most of the time, they're not even one-on-one matches, so I'm kind of glad this one's a one-on-one match. But yes, I was so happy to hear Roman cut this promo, and I definitely agree with almost everything that boy said on that promo. You know, I don't understand why Brock Lesnar chose not to show up, but this, you know, for Roman, this was a good promo because we all know Roman's not the best guy on the mic, but he definitely proved himself tonight that he's been working on his mic skills, and when he has something to say, he can say it, and he can say it with style. So, not much more I have to say about it. For me, this would probably be like your third best segment of the night. So, Florio, it's yours.
I'm debating as to what I should have as the second best segment of the night. The Cena segment, though, that was the segment of the night. John Cena? No. I'm not touching that. Between The Miz and Roman, I really cannot put one over the other. I could probably say second best segment of the night here. I mean, whoa. Whoa, Nelly. Okay. Where has this Roman Reigns been? That was really great. He came across as believable and delivered a great promo. You can't do the quote-unquote shoot-style promo all the time, but this worked very well here. Really well. I mean, the way he went after Lesnar, I mean, man, that was a very interesting approach to paint Lesnar as the bad guy for being a part-time champion, while Reigns is the full-time voice of the locker room who is sick and tired of Lesnar's antics. At this point, I'm not sure if anything will lead to Reigns winning over the masses or the WrestleMania crowd, but this at least gives him a little bit of a puncher's chance to win over some fans. And I'm curious to see how Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are going to respond, and whether he and Lesnar will be all-out heels for this match. Very possible. But nonetheless, this was unbelievable. We've all given Roman a lot of flack and a lot of grief for some lackluster and below-average promos, especially a few years ago, that infamous suffer and succotash moment. But that put the bad taste of that. The bad taste that was in my mouth from that particular promo went away the minute we heard this tonight. I mean, in the immortal words of Michael Bullock, damn, Roman Reigns, tell us how you really feel. Well, the big dog did just that here tonight. So, unbelievable. So, Roman Reigns, best promo ever, right there. And now that you've achieved it, hopefully for the next several more weeks, we don't see or hear anything less from you, big dog. That was awesome. Well done. MF, where did that come from Roman? Wow. Oh my goodness.
For once, he opened up and they gave him material to work with. That's what they've been waiting for, and that's what we've been waiting for, is that just let Roman be Roman and just let him do what he needs to do. the writers have been messing up for Roman for a very long time, and they give us trash that we don't want, that we don't care. When you make Roman authentic and just let him speak whatever it is, that's what makes this solid. And it was solid. It was believable. I felt it. And for once, bravo, Roman Reigns. For once, I can't boo you like I normally do, but I applaud you for at least doing something really good. I loved it. It was solid. It was great. For me, well done. And definitely one of his best speaking since he's ever started with WWE, even better than anything of his NXT days too. So, I definitely impressed, thoroughly impressed. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Man, I mean, like you said, I mean, where was this from Roman Reigns when he's done his promos? Man, he let it out tonight and then some. I mean, he really told us how he really felt when we found out that Brock Lesnar wasn't even in the building. So, I mean, wow. I mean, this was, I'm sure everybody was shocked by this, and hopefully we get the same kind of Roman Reigns from here until WrestleMania. So we'll just have to wait and see. But all in all, I mean, I gotta give Roman Reigns credit, and so there's really nothing more for me to say. You guys pretty much touched on everything. So let's just move right along, Florio.
And this is a match that's going to conjure up some memories for myself and good old MF Michael Fletcher, because this was an out of nowhere match, a return match from last night at the Elimination Chamber. Raw Tag Team Championship on the line once again. The Bar defending against Titus Worldwide with the lovely Dana Brooke in their corner as always. And this was not a traditional one fall match. No. 2 out of 3 falls. And MF, you know what that means. Our 2 favorite words, man. In the immortal words of you and Gorilla Monsoon. Intercontinental rules. But the winners of the match, in a total time of 11 minutes and 23 seconds, and in 2 straight falls, winners and still your Raw Tag Team Champions. They don't just set the bar. They are the bar. They got it done again. 3 stars. Another good match. And I thought this was actually better than the pay-per-view match. I felt it had a great energy, a hot closing stretch. And the Bar right now, easily the best tag team on Monday Night Raw. They're not quite the best team in WWE. I'll openly admit it. The best tag team in WWE is on SmackDown Live. They're tag team champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso. They are the best tag team in WWE, hands down. But if any team can match them, it's the Bar. Even though the Usos went over the Bar at Survivor Series, I'm hopeful that we'll get to see those 2 meet up again. I'm hoping that when we get to the Superstar Shake-Up, draft, what have you, I'm hoping that we get either the Bar on SmackDown Live, or better yet, the Usos on Raw, and then we can have a hella fun tag team feud with the Bar and the Usos to see who really is the best tag team in WWE right now. So to me, I still think it's the Usos, but when it comes to Monday Night Raw, no other team sets the bar than the Bar. Not the Good Brothers, not the Revival, definitely not Titus Worldwide. And hopefully tonight was the blow off, and hopefully we can get Titus Worldwide away from the Bar. The Bar's got better things to do. So that's all I can say on that. So solid 3 stars. Another quality match on what was a solid and newsworthy quality Raw here tonight. So, oh man. So, MF, I mean, your show may have the best tag team right now in the Usos, but when it comes to Monday Night Raw, there's no other team that sets the bar than the bar itself.
Yeah, true. I can't deny that. No doubt about it. They're definitely the best tag team, and I'm gonna say it. You better hope that they stay on Monday Night Raw, because if they decide to move them to SmackDown Live, forget it. Your tag team division is corners. Like I said, especially on SmackDown Live, it's the same thing. We got 2 stud tag teams right now, maybe 3 stud tag teams right now on SmackDown Live. But that's for tomorrow night. As far as this goes, yes, it was 3 stars. Yes, it was definitely 10 times better than the fight last night. But 2 out of 3 falls and this thing ends in 2 straight. I'm sorry. I got to take points away from this because of that. I can only give this 2.5 stars. I just feel like if you're doing a 2 out of 3 falls fight, the tag team title's on the line, you really just you killed the momentum of Titus Worldwide. It's like you really considered them an irrelevant tag team, and that's sad because they've been getting nice wins. You're building them up, building them up. But when it comes to the big fights, when it comes to the tag team title fights, they fall a little short here. And tonight, I'm gonna say it. This looked like somewhat of a burial job on Titus Worldwide. I don't understand why, but that's another discussion for another day. Maybe I'll get disagreed upon because of my feeling for it, my sentiment. But I'm sorry, I gotta call this the way I see it. 2.5 stars. Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, are you with us? I guess not. So, Dee Whitson, we're just going to have to move on to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of agree with most of what Fletch says, except for the rating. I'm actually gonna take the rating even lower. I'm gonna go 2 stars with it. I mean, really, do we have to build the tag team up so much that you just in one swoop blow just knock them completely out of the water? I mean, it's not ethical to do something like that. So, not much more I'm going to have to say about it. So, since Bullock's not back, I toss it back to you.
And then they announced the newest inductee in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. It's the recipient of the Warrior Award. And this young man deserves it big time. 15-year-old Jarius J.J. Robertson from New Orleans, Louisiana. Only fitting since WrestleMania is in New Orleans, of course. So that young man will join the likes of Connor the Crusher Mahalik and Joan London, Eric LeGrand, and now he can consider himself the 4th winner of the prestigious Warrior Award. Of course, the Ultimate Warrior's widow, of course, Dana Warrior, the beautiful Dana Warrior, will be on hand to present that award to Jarius J.J. Robertson. And on behalf of all of us here at Ridiculously Raw, we want to send out our heartfelt congratulations to Jarius J.J. Robertson, 15-year-old young man who had some serious liver issues growing up and persevered through all of it. You saw the story on the show tonight. Very well done. So I think I speak on behalf of all of us when we say congratulations to Jarius J.J. Robertson for becoming the newest recipient of the Warrior Award, joining some great company in Connor, the Crusher Mahalik, Joan London, and of course Eric LeGrand. So another deserving winner. Nothing bad to say on that. So well done, young man. And that's going to be the emotional moment of the night, of course. There's no question about that. So There will not be a dry eye when that young man gives his speech at the Hall of Fame. But I also feel he's gonna be Mr. Fun during that, because we all know that his very sweet personality. So it's gonna be amazing. So well done. All right, we have a cutout here. Braun Strowman and Elias. Braun Strowman wins it 5 minutes and 9 seconds via disqualification. Easily the worst fight of the night. 1 star, completely lackluster, and a poorly planned follow-up to Braun Strowman's dominant, and as MF called it, MVP performance in the Elimination Chamber. I guess it's something for them to do until WrestleMania, I guess, because we got a long way to go before that. So, all right, the main event segment of the night. We had the Authority, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, and basically, it was basically a follow-up from last night. So there's really nothing much to say here. So I believe it's MF who starts this off. So MF, how did the follow-up to this angle compare to last night?
Well, as far as the follow-up goes, this was a lot better. I mean, Ronda looked a lot more comfortable. She had that fire that I seen. That walk when she came down that rampway, that she got into killer mode. And she got it. That's the way I've seen her every time she came out getting ready for a UFC fight, man. That walk, that pissed off look in her eye, like, I am going to murder you. That was the look that I've seen every single time, and oh boy, was she ready. After Stephanie and Triple H were asking for apologies and demanding it, Kurt was like, you know what? I made it all up. I lied. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. And everything was all hunky dory, but Ronda was still in game mode, and she was like, "Well, I want an apology from Stephanie, and if I don't, I'm gonna break her arm right out of her socket." And I gotta say, man, that crowd was bloodthirsty, man. Rip it off, rip it off, rip it off. I mean, I was like, wow. So she definitely looked a lot more comfortable in the ring. She looked like that killer at the end. But that punch was very telling by Triple H. I mean, that was definitely the seeds are planted. We're getting Angle and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania. But the punch kind of was like an out of nowhere. You kind of was wondering why. You could have gone a different route with that, but by just sucker punching by Triple H, sucker punching Kurt Angle just for no apparent reason. I mean, it really did nothing for him. I rather would have left it the way it was. Just let them be. Let Kurt leave the ring. I should say, let the Authority leave the ring. Pick it up next week or pick it up next time. There was no need for that sucker punch. I kind of felt like it didn't feel right. It came out of nowhere. I just didn't like it. Solid way to close Raw, but that, like I said, the sucker punch at the end, it kind of, for me, it didn't make no sense whatsoever. It kind of took away a little bit of the power because everything was great up to that point. So, nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
I think he's down and out, MF. So we're just gonna move on to Dee Dee Woodson.
Okay, this is my comment on the sucker punch. I don't know how old you guys would have been during this time, but the pre-DX days where you had the prissy sissy Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's the Hunter that Kevin and I both agreed that we saw tonight. The little prissy sissy that would come out in the elaborate type of ring gear because he was the little prissy rich boy, and do the little sissy sucker punch things like he did tonight. The DX Hunter would not have pulled something like that. Hunter has always been a type of person, I will get in your face, I will show you I mean business, and he won't back down. And for some reason, him and Stephanie are completely scared to death of this chick. I know Ronda Rousey is a very very big champion. I mean, she's got several titles under her already, but after seeing her throw Hunter through a table last night, then seeing Stephanie scared to death when she had to apologize to her tonight. I mean, who's to say Kurt Angle was really lying? I think tonight was the lie when he went out there and apologized for last night. I think last night he is actually telling the truth. Why would Hunter scurry him out of the ring like that last night if Angle wasn't telling the truth? So, it was a good segment. Not really a segment I would really want to end Raw on, but it was still a good segment. Ronda looked really, really good. Angle looked like an idiot. And Triple H and Stephanie looked like scaredy cats pretty much tonight. And as Kevin would put it, bullies, because they just wanted to sucker punch Angle, who did exactly what they told him to do. So, not much more I have to say about it, so let's move on.
Good segment that had an oddball finish, and it didn't give the Raw viewing audience a memorable moment involving Ronda Rousey. The idea was that the Authority got to Kurt Angle and convinced him to say he was lying, or he would lose his job as general manager. But Hunter couldn't resist giving Kurt a cheap shot on his way out. If Rousey and Angle are going to team at WrestleMania against the Authority, hopefully her character can get Kurt back on his feet and give him his mojo back, because it was so sad to watch his character say, "I need this job." But like MF said, I agree with what MF said about Rousey on the mic. She was much better than the night before, but she is still a work in progress. She makes up for some of her shortcomings on the mic with some incredible facial expressions. And I don't know, but nonetheless, it was a solid segment. I mean, yeah, it was a little disappointing because it wasn't, that wow segment. I mean, I thought something big was going to happen, but unfortunately it didn't. I mean, but like MF said, Rousey was so much better. She had no jitters. She looked calm and composed and delivered well. And the build to the mixed tag continues. So really nothing left to say here. So we're just going to get into our overall review here. I'm sure Bullock's probably still down. So Didi Woodson, we're going to start the overall review with you here. I'm sure you got to get going anyway. So your thoughts on this solid and newsworthy show tonight?
I'm going to give it 6.5 to 7 stars. I mean, you had some strong points, but you also had some really weak points, and the main event match sucked. The segment was at the end, all right, but left you wondering, what the heck you just got through watching. Definitely Cena and Roman Reigns definitely were two of the strongest segments there. The Miz had a pretty strong segment too. I think I'm going to go ahead and reverse that and say Reigns was a little bit stronger than Miz. Although I could do the same argument you did and say they're about Reigns and Miz were almost even. But I think I'm going to lean closer to Roman on that one. I wasn't impressed with the tag team match. For one, I'm kind of tired of seeing however many weeks it's been with Titus Worldwide and the Bar, just for them to actually just totally make Titus Worldwide look like they were preschoolers out there in the ring. I mean, they really made them look really bad by not at least letting them get at least one win in this. I mean, they've beaten these guys I don't know how many times just for them to be squashed tonight. I mean, that just I did not enjoy that at all. So and then of course you had the ladies match at the beginning, which was a pretty strong match. But definitely the best match of the night, Miz and Rollins. Second best, Miz and Balor, and then I would say the ladies match. So not much more I have to say about it. I mean, start of the show pretty strong. The end of the show kind of so. Like I said, about 6.5 to 7, just because it was newsworthy. So, see you guys tomorrow night. Good night.
All right, good night. You'll see you tomorrow night. And yes, I'm leaning more towards 7 to 7.5, to be honest. I mean, another damn good Monday Night Raw, a quality, solid, newsworthy edition of Raw. Miz and Rollins fight of the night. Miz and Balor, second best fight of the night. And then you had some other quality matches. The Bar and Titus Worldwide. Give you a 6-woman tag. And, 4 quality matches. All the in-ring segments were solid to good to great. And usually we frown upon in-ring segments, but I felt every single one of them delivered in a way. I mean, Cena was the segment of the night, hands down. Roman and The Miz both brought it tonight. Well done from those two. Solid opening segment with the women, especially Alexa Bliss. And the main event segment, solid, yes, but it was somewhat disappointing. I mean, we didn't get that, that big wow moment that I thought we were going to get from Ronda Rousey. And I thought they were going to officially, plant the seeds for that mixed tag, but obviously they don't want to. I'm guessing they don't want to give too much away too soon right now. So, because they know they got plenty of time to build it up, 6 weeks worth. So, yeah. Long story short, overall, this was a very good edition of Raw as they began to set the table and plant the seeds for WrestleMania 34. So. Nothing more to say for me. Solid 7 to 7.5 for my personal taste. So that's just me being the Raw guy that I am. So, MF, I'm sure you're going to take me back to reality here. I know I probably overscored it in your eyes. So
just not by much, but I'm actually going to go with the Dee Woodson's score of 6.5 out of 10. It was a good show, no doubt about it. But there was a couple of plot points here and there where it kind of felt like, eek. Especially at the end of the show, I really thought it was good. The segment was fine, but the ending stunk. There were certain elements where it just felt like they were good setups, but the endings of a lot of these fights were kind of unresolved or not great at all. It's like it's almost like, and I'm going to take a football analogy. I'm going to take an NFL analogy. You get the ball at the 20-yard line. You move it consistently down the field. But for some odd reason, you don't get it into the end zone. You can't score a touchdown, and you're basically forced to kick field goals in that instance. That's what I felt like it was. It felt like you were moving it in a good direction, but you couldn't give us that ultimate ending. It kind of felt flat in a lot of areas, and you ended up kicking it through the uprights, getting 3 points, where you basically left 6 on the board. You easily could have gotten quite a few touchdowns here tonight, but you ended up kicking field goals. So good, not great. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. But until then, it's time for the Tony's Take, and Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend.
Started off with 205 Live, and I got to be honest, the last few weeks we've had amazing shows. Unfortunately, for the first time in a while, 205 Live disappointed, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, it wasn't remotely bad. It was just disappointing in my book. But nonetheless, let's get to it. Continuing in the Cruiserweight tournament, Ariya Daivari versus Buddy Murphy. Winner of the match, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Buddy Murphy, he advances to the next round. 2 3/4 stars, pretty good match. But the middle, Daivari sucked the life out of it. I mean, but Murphy looked good, though. He got the kick out of all of Daivari's stuff, and he has a lot of potential on the brand, and I really do. So 2 3/4 stars here. And then we had a trifle unnecessary squash match. Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado against a couple of Hammer Negra jabronis. 3 minutes and 54 seconds. It was an okay little extended squash for the Lucha House Party. This was obviously no rating to a dud. Worst fight of the night, easily. And then we had the other tournament match, the final first round match. Jack Gallagher against Mustafa Ali. Winner of the match in 17 minutes and 12 seconds. Mustafa Ali with the 0-5-4. 3 stars. Good main event overall, with Ali having to overcome the newly focused Gallagher. But what held it back from being better than just good was that it felt too long. It was a little bit repetitive and felt too similar to Drew Gulak's transformation from last week. So, yeah, so 6 out of 10. That's the best I can give it. While not at the level of the last few weeks, it was a solid show as the show continues to lock in its new identity and locking in the second round matches. So here we go. These are the second round matches. Tomorrow night, oh my goodness, what 2 matches we have here. Kalisto squaring off against Roderick Strong. And then the match that I honestly felt was going to be the finals of this tournament at WrestleMania, but it's not going to be. Cedric Alexander against TJP. Whoa, Nelly. And then from there in 2 weeks, Drew Gulak against Mark Andrews. And that means Mustafa Ali will square off against Buddy Murphy. So, man alive, we're going to have some fun over these next few weeks. So that all goes down tomorrow night on 205 Live, 10 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network. Well, actually, a little after 10:30, because we still have the Mixed Match Challenge immediately following SmackDown Live. So nothing more to say here. Let's just move on. Impact Wrestling started it off with LAX against the Cult of Lee. Cult of Lee wins the match, 15 minutes and 8 seconds, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match. We have new contenders for the World Tag Team Championship, and it was a nice start to the show. And because of this, the Cult of Lee will challenge LAX for the World Tag Team Championships on March 8th on the special TV pay-per-view called Crossroads. And I'll have more on that soon. Cage, remember Cage from Lucha Underground? They call him Cage. MF knows all about the guy. I call him Lucha Underground's version of Braun Strowman. 1 minute and 7 seconds over some Hammer Negra named Hunter Law. Exactly what it needed to be in order to continue introducing us to Cage. Then a match taped in Canada, Toronto, Canada. Matt Sydal against Petey Williams. Sydal won the match. The video was about 5 minutes and 45 seconds long. And also at Crossroads. Well, actually, no. It's going to be. I think it's. Well, yes, it is going to be at Crossroads. Taiji Ishimori and Matt Sydal for the X Division Championship. Matt Sydal could be a double champion. We could see him walk out with both the X Division and Grand Championships. Whoa, okay. Then we had this segment, Jimmy Jacobs, Congo Kong, looking for Abyss, and then this lady by the name of Grandma Jenny shows up. And the point of that was what exactly? That's all I can say on that. I mean, anybody who even thought that segment was remotely entertaining, well, I've got a few choice words about that. It wasn't. That's it. Worst segment of the night. I'm not even going to dignify it with a comment. And then another taped video package. Moose and Alberto El Patron. El Patron won the video package. Went about 6 minutes. And then the main event: Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards against OVE. Bobby Lashley, Eddie Edwards win it. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Solid 3 stars. It was good. It was focused, to the point, and played well off of the angle that got us there. Interested to see where it goes. Actually, I stand corrected. This is the main event. Johnny Impact, EC3. It's a #1 contenders match. Impact put his contendership on the line against EC3. Winner of the match in 18 minutes and 15 seconds. And still the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, Johnny Impact. He wins it in 18 minutes and 15 seconds. Fight of the night, 3 1/4 stars. Good match to close out the show. They worked well together. Impact came away looking like the undisputed #1 contender. The only thing I didn't like was that it felt like, to me, there was too much focus on the EC3 and Tyrus split, which overshadowed the finish quite a bit. So nothing more to say here. 7 out of 10. This was a good show. Had a cohesive flow throughout. Nothing bad, and good setup for the next 2 weeks of programming, especially that Crossroads free pay-per-view on TV. Slowly but surely, things are turning around. The show's pacing, layout, and planning for the next weeks are improving, and the show is starting to become an easy watch on Thursday nights. So here's what we can expect on the next show Thursday night. El Hijo del Fantasma against Braxton Sutter. Rosemary against Hania the Huntress in a no disqualification match. Laurel Van Ness is going to have a commitment ceremony with the Knockouts Championship. Yeah, wait till you see how that turns out. Congo Kong against Joseph Park. And then Eddie Edwards against Sami Callihan. So that's all I have for the next Impact on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pop Television. Check it out on your check your local listings for the time and channel in your area. So that's it. So Ridiculously Raw in the books for this week. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. The SMF right on cue. One last order of business before we wrap it up. SmackDown Live tomorrow night. What's on tap?
Well, basically, it is SmackDown Live, as we will have the recap of the show. As you know, John Cena will be in the house at the City of Angels, as we're going to be on the Staples Center this week, as we're continuing our road on Fastlane. And then, of course, I actually got some news. I actually got some, this time we have some Ring of Honor news. Normally they do the tapings on Monday night, so I get to do an actual review of the show. So yay for that. And then we got a preview, a big event coming down this Saturday night from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The RWA is back. Perseverance, one of their biggest events of the year, with one of the biggest main events they've had in recent memory, in recent months for the RWA. As I'll get to preview the main event, the RWA Triple Crown title on the line, as two good friends who were tag team partners will be battling it out for the richest prize in the industry. The Thanksgiving Throwdown champion, Chris Cruz, goes one-on-one with RWA Triple Crown champion, the Ace, Mike Monteiro. A full preview of that and a whole lot more, 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night on Braves Fan 95. We will see you then. Anthony Florio, take it home.
And that will be immediately following SmackDown Live. So once SmackDown Live is over, head on over to MF channel Braves Fan 95 for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Man, I cannot wait. It's going to be a great show. I mean, especially with that Cena segment. I mean, that's going to be the make or break for SmackDown Live. Perhaps that's the shot in the arm you boys need. That's all I can say on that. So, if anybody can give you boys that shot in the arm you've been looking for the last few months, that's your man right there, John Cena, the franchise player. So, so that goes down tomorrow night immediately following SmackDown Live. Strictly Sports docket is out. Here we go. It's a loaded docket. Blake Bortles signing a 3-year extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mark, unfortunately, we're going to have quite a few hard times in this. Mark Cuban fined $600,000 for tanking comments and the downfall of the Dallas Mavericks organization. Will Kawhi Leonard return to the San Antonio Spurs? Louisville stripped of their 2013 national championship, the men's basketball team, that is. Yahoo's report that shook the college basketball world, the whole FBI situation. We'll have a recap of the NHL trade deadline, and we'll close it out with the NBA power rankings. So that all goes down Friday night at 10:30. So there you go. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on his channel, Race 395. To ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyo here. For good old MF Michael Fletcher. For the Phenom Michael Bullock. And in spirit, the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson. And Bullock Love Soldier 445. Derek Ferrer. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up 424 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. Until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, keep it watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo.